There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. Only one that comes from. There's a light in me. That shines in me. There's a light in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me. See the star now in me. There's a light that shines in me. There's a light in me.
How did you get involved in what you're famous for now?
Yeah.
Your seaweed
Yeah.
artwork and your work with seaweed.
Well, in Yorktown Heights in 1958, I had the flu, and when I got better, I had a very bad pain in my neck. I couldn't lift my head, and I was flat on my back for several months. And I became terribly depressed. Well, my neck got better, but the depression lingered. And I said to Larry, I think if we went someplace that was altogether different from where we're living now. I was actually thinking about the southern part of France, because I thought it'd be fun to learn a new language and get to know a different culture and so on. But Larry was having lunch with a friend of his, and his friend said, well, why don't you come to Martha's Vineyard? And so we thought that was a good idea because it's an island and close to an ocean and all that. So so Larry and I took this house, in those days was called a camp, right on Lobsterville Beach, right smack on Lobsterville Beach. And the first morning, when I'm an early riser. The first morning I was up at 6 o'clock and I took a walk on the beach and I saw the seaweed. Now I must have seen it before, but I really didn't see it. And this time I observed the seaweed and I became fascinated with its shape.
It's the white. And white. And what's great is there's some here and there. All pretty great. Yes,
And what happened with your melancholy? Did that lift immediately after you did the
absolute
seaweed?
With the melancholy, I went to I tried to get better with it, of course, and I went to several therapists and people like that to help me out. Nothing helped. But that morning when I went on my walk and saw the seaweed, that melancholy absolutely disappeared.
So it's like you connected with your heart's desire, your soul's desire,
That's
and
right.
your almost your purpose for your creativity.
Yeah.
And you were released.
And I just never felt bad, never felt depressed again.
Because
Never.
knowing you've always struck me as the kind of person that's always upbeat and always positive about life, and
Yes. Yeah.
I can't imagine you being depressed. So
I know.
thank God for seaweed.
Yeah. I know it. The seaweed. It's amazing, but it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Right.
Because there I was so depressed, and there I find an outlet for my life's force. It was life's force for me.
Rosie, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this article, the seaweed lady.
Yeah.
Tell me a little about that article.
Well, the seaweed lady article appeared in the Martha's Vineyard magazine.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
For let's see, April or May, and now the seaweed lady. When Henry Huff was the editor of the Martha's Vineyard magazine, Martha's Vineyard paper, Vineyard Gazette.
Gazette, okay, yes, Henry Huff.
He told me that I made the Martha's Vineyard aware of seaweed.
Yes, but when did your art go from the abstract, this kind of looks like something, to, hey, let me make a nude woman, or let me make a cat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know what you're saying. Well, I don't know. Some of it took years, and some of it took maybe. Well, yeah, they all took years. I remember one of them. I thought I was making an owl. But I was working on an owl, and it turned out if I moved something just one way different, it would be a nude woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so
something to, hey, let me make a nude woman, or let me make a cat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, breast.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's funny. Sometimes you think you're doing something a certain way, and doing something, and it turns out to be something else.
And that, in my opinion, is a true artist at work, because you can't always be so strict and stringent about what you're doing. You have to sort of allow for the flow.
Especially with seaweed, because seaweed is a live thing, and it has a life of its own.
Right.
It isn't like a brush and paint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it comes from the flow of the ocean too.
Yeah.
And then it flows onto your page.
Yeah. And what I love about what I do too is like, see, in this one, there are holes in the kelp.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those holes were made by the fish. So the fish is my collaborator.
Right.
Yeah.
Very well put.
And I have a very it makes me feel close to wildlife and I just love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. and I love the fact that the fish are eating into this seaweed for their food, and making this design for my work,
Mm-hmm.
So we work together.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You have an incredible longevity to your life as well.
Yes, I do.
And what would you attribute that to? I mean, we talked about your mental health a little earlier. Your art keeps you happy, and would you talk a little about that?
About my longevity. Well, I have people, perfect strangers, coming up to me in Vineyard Haven. This happened twice recently, saying, "What's your secret? What's your secret?" And I thought, gee, what are they talking about, And I was buying a ticket, a ferry ticket, and the man behind the desk said, "What's your secret?" And still working.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Isn't it?
Right. You're not in a home somewhere and
that's right.
being taken care of.
That's right. I'm still working, and So what is my secret? Okay. My parents, my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents lived to be well into their 90s and hundreds. So I think that's a big part of it also.
Interesting. Did your ancestors, where did they come from in the world?
Yeah. Well, I was born in Czechoslovakia.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. And I came here when I was 14 months old. And I didn't learn English until I went to school. And every day I came home and I taught my mother what I learned in school that day. So I taught her how to read and write and speak English. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. That's very unusual.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual for a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gee, so you've been a teacher too.
Well, my mother always credited me with bringing America to her, because she was busy always. She had 7 children altogether. 2 of them died in infancy, but so she raised 5 children, and she was busy with that, and so she came to depend on me for bringing America to her, the culture to her. And then I lost my grandparents in the Holocaust.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and they were also in their well into their 80s. Yeah.
So that's the longevity gene, perhaps, and perhaps your mental attitude. Do you wake up in the morning thinking, "Oh, another day"? Do you wake up in the morning saying, "I can't wait to do my work, have a cup of whatever you have, herb tea or
that's right.
hot water"?
I wake up in the morning thinking, now what's my priority for today? Do I have to go to the beach and get the seaweed, or do I have, or should I be working that I've got in the refrigerator that I got yesterday? Well, let me see. I think I'll do that first. Take a good look at it and see what it. And also, I belong to the Oak Bluffs, like polar bears.
Oh yes.
Yes. They're mostly African Americans. Oh, I was so delighted to join, because I had never had African American friends before, and it's because, not that I avoided it, it's just that I never had the opportunity. I grew up in a town that had maybe 2 African American families in it. We had 1 boy, African American, in my school, the school we had in New York. In my way.
You shine just like a star, beautiful you are. Yeah, you're just like a diamond, so rare and hard to make. Like the Mona Lisa behind the thick glass plate. I only wish that I could reach you just to tell you what I see. You're a sparkling jewel and a work of art to me. Did anyone ever tell you that you're beautiful? Did anyone ever tell you you're the best? Oh, did anyone ever tell you just how lovely you are? You shine just like a star, how beautiful you are. Like a star, oh, how beautiful you are.